Hope everyone's doing well. Bear with me just a second. I'm going to switch over here. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we're going to get into the FBA. If you notice on the syllabus, it talks about it. It's basically step 1, step 2, step 3. Okay. So I will tell you the first 8-week course we did for this semester, we kind of combined steps 1 and 2 and just submitted it as one. But due to me missing last week and having to be out, I feel like, and this is just me personally, it has nothing to do with you, that I'm kind of behind. So we can just keep it as step 1, 2, and 3, and it may be easier that way, especially with step 1 showing that it's due Sunday. So again, the class before, we kind of worked ahead of ourselves a little bit. So we're going to talk about step 1. It's broken down into small increments here. So looking at the FBA assignment, let me get down here. The first thing we're going to do for step 1 is your group that you've signed up with basically need to collaborate and kind of talk about a common problem, behavioral issue that you're seeing within your group back in your respective districts. You probably see a variety of them, but as you collaborate amongst your group, you need to try to identify one that you feel like is common, that you each can pull some observational data to provide to the group. So that's really in step 1, is deciding what's a common behavioral issue that we're seeing that we want to focus on together as a group when we do this FBA assignment and get ready for a behavior intervention plan. Okay, so that's the first thing. The next thing is, after you determine, hey, we're going to focus on this problem, after you complete some observational forms and collect data, you're going to come back and basically you're going to compile the observation information into one, which we're just going to say is a prototypical student. Okay, we're just going to say, hey, this is a prototypical student. We're combining all of our information into one, and we're going to apply it to Johnny Joe. He's our prototypical student for our group. And then we're going to move forward and we're focusing on this one student. And so we're bringing all our behavioral information together, and I'm going to go over the forms, kind of touched on them at the very beginning of this course when we started it. On the forms, there's templates that you can use to do that. So we're targeting the behavior. Once we target and agree on that behavior, you'll each will observe that student in your district that is displaying that behavior. And then you're going to bring it back to the group. You're going to compile it into one student. Okay, is everyone with me on that? So far, that tends to confuse some of the previous classes I've had. So decide the problem. Each of you go back. You observe your student that you're focusing on, looking for that behavior related to that problem. Come back. We're going to compile it. Okay. Everyone good so far?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, once we do that, again, we're going to come back, we're going to compile it, and then we're going to move forward and we're going to start writing it. So the first step would be actually collecting the data. Okay, that's where we're observing. We're going to give some descriptions on that, and that will help us kind of bring that back and plug it into our plan. So the first thing we're going to do, or that you will need to do once you go back to your district, is complete the interview form. And that template's on there, and I'm going to go and show you again where those are at. So basically, you're going to conduct and submit an interview with a parent or teacher who knows the student that you are targeting. So Lori, if you already have an idea on a particular student that you think is going to meet the criteria for your group, you're going to go back and you're going to conduct a little informal interview with either that student's parent or a teacher that's worked with that student, knows quite a bit about him or her. Okay, so that's one of the forms. that we're gonna get our information on.
I have a quick question on that. So for me, my paras know my kids the best.
That's fine.
Okay. You
Yeah.
can interview a para because they,
You can do that. If that pair's been with that student, I'm good with that. We want to
Okay.
find an independent person beside yourself that can provide some information on that student based on observations and knowing him or her.
yeah,
Okay.
because
So if you have a-
they're collecting the data every day and
Yeah,
compiling it. Okay.
exactly. Okay, so good point. You may have a parent, that's fine. I'm good with that. Or you could use a parent, or it could be another classroom teacher as well. Okay, good point. Thank you. Next thing is we have a template on there for a little behavior chart. Basically, it's a template that we provide. So you're going to conduct or complete that behavior chart, and you're going to bring that back to the group. Okay, then there's another form. It's called an ABC analysis. And again, this template form is attached, and you will conduct that on your student, bring it back to the group. Same thing with a frequency duration chart. So once you guys collect it, you bring it back, your group is meeting, whether you choose to do it Zoom, Google Meets, however you want to do it. You're going to start sharing this. Lori, you'd say, hey, for my interview, this is information I got. And each one of you are going to do that and go right down on those forms and talk about it. Then you're going to pull what you feel like is the most pertinent, best information from your group members off of each one of these, and you're going to combine it and create one form for each of the 4 categories. So you're going to pull it, you're going to create a new interview form for this prototypical student. You will take all your data from the observation charts and do one observation chart based on everything that's compiled. Same thing with the ABC analysis and the frequency duration. Does that make sense?
That could internally multiply their behaviors times 4.
Exactly. But literally all we're doing essentially is in your group meeting, you're providing feedback. You're going to take, you can elect a group member to do this. You're going to take one of these interview forms and you're going to compile all the information and just put it into one form. Okay.
But it's going to make this kid seem really bad if like they're
No, not necessarily. All we're doing is hitting the high points from each observation and just
Gotcha.
coming up with what we want to put on this form.
Okay.
We're not going to list it 4 times on one form or 3 times how many group members. We're just taking the high point. Lori may come to your group and she may have a really good response on a particular interview item that you guys want to include that. You felt like it really stood out and you want to include that, and you're going to plug that one in. Then Glee had some information on another interview question. She's in your group and you're like, hey, we really like that response regarding that behavior. We're going to use Glee's information and put it in on item number 3 on the interview form. Okay, so literally you're taking what you feel like is the best of the best.
Gotcha.
And just putting it on to a new form. Okay, and you're going to present that. Is that clear? Kind of makes sense? Lori, are you good so far? I'm trying to look at your facial expressions and see if I'm clear or if I'm kind of muddy in the water. So that's why I keep
we're going to duplicate an interview form, behavior observation, ABC, and frequency after we do our own.
That's right. You're going to come back and you're going to take the best of the best, and we're as a group, you're going to develop an interview form.
Okay.
One. Then your group will submit one interview form, one observation chart, one ABC analysis, and one frequency duration on behalf of the group.
Gotcha.
I don't need 4 different forms. You're going to do one on behalf of the group. So whoever is going to submit the assignment for step 1, and then for step 2 and step 3, when you signed up on that group, your names are all connected. So Lori, let's say you're the designated person is going to submit the assignment for your group. When you submit it, it's going to link the other group members and it's going to show that their assignment's submitted. And when I pop up the document in Blackboard to grade it, I grade it once and score it, critique it, do all that, submit it, and that grade will be dispersed to all 4 group members automatically because you are linked together where you signed up in Blackboard. Does that make sense? So when that assignment's due, whether it's step 1, step 2, step 3, don't panic and think, oh my gosh, he's not going to get my assignment because I didn't submit it on my end. No, one group member does it for you and the rest of you are covered. Okay. So don't worry about that. So literally that's step 1.
Can I ask a question about the frequency and duration ones?
Yes.
Do you want, so each of us need to do a scatter plot, each of us need to do a time sampling as well, like we
Yes.
do? Okay.
Yeah. Each one of you will do each one of those forms. And then you will, as a group, decide, hey, we're going to try to do a quick Zoom touch base on Tuesday, November, whatever. And you're going to kind of talk through this and share your information and pick out the best of the best and do one form representing the group. Amy, does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's step 1. Now I can go in and talk a little bit about step 2. Don't want to totally confuse you, but knowing that we missed last week, I think before we're at, it'd be better off if we leave them split into step 1, 2, and 3 versus how I did it the previous 8 weeks, knowing that I was gone last week. So, because it may seem like a lot at one time. So literally, I'm just going to kind of verbally talk through this so you'll kind of know what would be the next step. So after you guys submit that, review it, and then all that information we're going to take and we're going to build on it for step 2, and we're going to start doing our actual FBA, and there's a template form within this course shell. And so literally, when we come back together and meet again, after you have submitted step 1, we will literally have your information in our next meeting after the Thanksgiving holiday. And we will start talking through step 2 together in a Zoom session. I'll have the FBA form popped up, and we can literally go right down through each step for step number 2 in the FBA report format. So you truly understand how to transfer and move the data over into the report format. Okay. Right now, all we're going to worry about is just going back to your districts and collecting and doing your behavior observations, your interview, and the ABC analysis, and getting all your behavior information.
And when is that due? That's not due this Sunday, but the next?
The following, yes.
Okay, so nothing due this Sunday except
No,
our
you got-
document?
Yes, that's it. That's
Okay, good.
just your documents, okay?
So
No,
it's
no,
due
no
this-
formal reports or anything like that. No, we won't even get into that until after Thanksgiving.
So
So,
just our log.
That's right, your
Okay.
practicum log.
so step 1, is it due the Sunday after Thanksgiving?
It will be, actually, I will have you submit it that following Sunday after we start back.
Okay.
Okay, so you got a little bit of time. And I realize right now, and I'm going to tell you this to clear up a little bit of confusion. I want to remind everyone that next week there is no class, period, because of Thanksgiving week. Okay. So you'll turn in a practicum log this Sunday. It's basically the first 25 hours. If you have all your hours, that's fine if you want to submit it. Okay. Some of you may. Totally fine. But at least show me your first 25 to make sure I know you're progressing. That's what's due. Then we'll be off Thanksgiving week. Then we'll resume our Zoom sessions on Wednesday, the 30th. You guys will have had time to have collected some of your behavior observations, interview. I know some of you guys mentioned you're even in school next week for a couple of days, so it gives you a little bit more time to collect some of that information. If you're off the whole week, you'll still have that Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday when you come back from Thanksgiving vacation before we meet, okay? Everyone good on kind of the timeline there? So no class next week, practicum log due Sunday, and then you won't even have anything due until the end of that week after we come back.
So we need to decide as our team, like pronto, what
Pretty
behavior we're
quick.
going to focus on.
Yeah, pretty quick. I would definitely suggest you guys get together as soon as you can. Yeah. That
So
way.
sorry,
Yeah, you're good.
are the reflection prompts due with the log, like the practicum log?
Yeah, I was trying to think if it had, and I didn't get a glance because I was running close on time switching over, if there was even oh, no. I'm sorry. The reflection will be due when the final log is, the final 50 hours. Now, if you got your 50 and you're going to submit them this week, make sure your reflection's on it. If you're only doing the first 25, I just want to see your 25 hours. I don't need a reflection.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry about that. I thought you was talking about a discussion board reflection. I apologize. So,
You're okay. Just because on the link to turn it in, it says answer the reflection prompts at the bottom of
no,
the
I just
log.
want to see your 25 hours. Now, if you're going to do the all 50, definitely do the reflection.
Okay.
Okay.
And so what's our best way to contact our team members?
So what I would do, I can go in actually, if it would make it easier, because I'm not sure if all of them would be on here tonight, I can send you their emails. So I can look at your group and then send a group email that has those in them. And especially for the ones that are not on here, they'll know, hey, due to the holidays and the timeline, it's really important that you reach out to each other as a group, set up a time and narrow down the behavior you want to focus on.
That'd be great. That would help
That
a
would
lot.
probably be the easiest, less confusing way to do it.
Okay, that'd be great.
Okay, so I will go in and look at your groups, who all is in it, and then I will get those email addresses and I'll just send you guys a group email and say, here's your group member and their contact information. Please reach out and set up a time to meet independent outside of class via Zoom, Google Meet, whatever your preferred method is. Okay.
Perfect.
I think that would be the quickest, less confusing way to do it.
Yeah, because like I can observe, tomorrow and Friday, and
Yep.
then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. So we probably should narrow some behaviors
Yep.
down.
I will do that. I'll work on that as soon as we get off here this evening.
Okay, awesome.
So is everyone good where we're at right now, kind of knowing as we're coming into the Thanksgiving holiday and kind of where we're at and what we need to do the next few days as far as setting up time for your group, focusing on a specific behavior and then collecting your individual information, coming back to your group, compile it into that prototypical student and start preparing your single documents to submit as a group. Everyone good? Okay. Please remember, next week, no class at all. It's Thanksgiving week. I don't think you want to be hanging out on here with me Thanksgiving Eve.
No, nothing personal, but no.
No, I get it. Don't blame you.
Yeah.
So, okay. I will work on that this evening and get those out to you as soon as I could with your group contact. Again, it will be their Fort Hays email that's going to be in that. We'll have phone numbers because I really don't have access to that, but it'll be their Fort Hays email, and then challenge you guys and encourage you to reach out to one another. Okay. Practicum log, minimum first 25 hours will be due this Sunday. If you submit all 50, make sure your reflections included. Okay. All right. You guys have a great week. great holiday. If you're traveling, be safe and enjoy time with family, the holiday season. And I will plan to see you back on November the 30th on Wednesday. And if you have a question between now and Sunday on anything regarding your group or clarification, just shoot me an email and I'll respond to you. Okay.
Okay,
All right. Thank you guys. Have a good evening.
thank you.
You too. Have a good Thanksgiving.
You too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.